All right, fam, welcome back to the show. We've got Israel, we've got Iran, we've got bombs, we've got nuclear wars, we've got the market pumping, the market nuking. The question is, how can you navigate the whole thing? Now, as I said, if you follow my content, you know, it's been a very easy move to catch. But the next phase is not going to be as simple as it seems. And I want to help you navigate the market. I want to help you understand what has happened throughout the weekend and what will happen in the coming week. Big volatility. Let's get going. Guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Fefe. I've been here for a long time. I educate you. I bring you trades like this. I write threads about stuff you might not have known about crypto. And yeah, I just help you navigate the market every single day over at Crypto Live. This is the perfect time to subscribe to the channel. If you are here and you're just coming over, or this is the first time you meet me, let me know in the chat. We're gonna see it here. You can have all your questions in as well. Good week, legend. What's happening? What's happening? Hey, Fefe, hello everybody. Let's go. Boss, bump before the bump. This is what we're gonna talk about. Time to take profits? I think a little bit. We're gonna talk about it in a second. Let's look at the market. First of all, I just wanna say how beautiful this thing is. It warms my heart. Not only increases my wallet balance, but it's good to see a little bit of greenness in basically the brink of the Third World War. And if you look at it, there has been a bunch of things happening. So I've been very bullish last week. Again, if you have followed my content, you know, I've been tweeting about it. I've been just saying that everything aligns for a massive pump. I said US and China deal is almost closed. We've got CPI lower than expected last week. SEC chair is basically saying that self-custody and staking and wallets and Web3 is a right that you have. You've got the Clarity F pass, you've got the Genius X pass, you've got the Sol ETF amendments. Everything was lining up for a massive rally. And then on Thursday, Friday, I was like, you know what? Scrape the whole thing, just prep for nuclear war. And it's kind of funny, but it's actually not, because the attack that basically went down from Israel to Iran has been a shock to I would say the majority of the world. We knew at some point this was going to happen, but it probably came much sooner than everybody anticipated, and that also shook the markets. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. Again, you probably have followed the news, you've seen what's happening. Basically what happened is that Israel had a planned attack that they planned for years and years, and they basically eliminated every single important points in Iran, whether that's, you know, rocket launch sites, the whole chain of command, whether that's air bases, everything like that. They have just went and bombed everything, and it was a very strategic and surprising for Iran as well. But as it was expected, it is not something that we've always talked about. So you could have seen a couple of times someone saying happy married life. Thank you. Guys, if you're here, I would appreciate if you smash the like button. I see we have 600 people watching already and only 100 likes. I'm not usually here, and you don't get this off anywhere else. So please smash the like button. So what I wanted to say is that we could see a lot of speculation coming on Friday, Thursday, whether this is just the usual, you know, poking each other, Iran, Israel. But in my mind, this was very clear that this time is completely different, because this was a very strategic, targeted attack that basically kickstarted something that we have probably not seen before. Now, as I said, this this is not what I wanted to say. Yeah, so on the show, on the 𝗙𝗃𝗏 Club, which is my trading channel, I'm live here almost every single day, by the way. There's a link in the description where you can see it. But I was live here on Friday, and this is what I said on the market, where everybody was layering in and everybody was, you know, longing. I was urging you to wait. And I will tell you why this is important. This is what I said back then. Just bringing this session here. New York opens like this. I would not disregard this possibility. I know you're thinking, oh, Fefe, we're longing, buying the dip. Cool. I would not close this out. I would not. And if I look at this, that's a 5% drop here. If I put this ghost candles here, how would that look? That would look something like this. That would be exactly coming down. That would be exactly coming down. So I want you to take a note of this chart, which I drafted here, and I said this is the highest probability which I see playing out, down to the 3.16 trillion market cap here. Now you see it here, 3.16. Now if you put this chart up, that is literally what happened the day after, or the second day after. So the reason why I'm saying this is because when I say I'm selling, or I do believe that this is an opportunity to take shorts or just see the market bleed down, which we shorted, when I say that it is time to buy, I'm not just talking out of my head thinking, oh my God, just buy because I buy every dip. I'm talking and I'm saying that this is an opportunity because this move literally down here was expected. And I do believe that we are going to get a pump. Now I'm gonna talk about why and how. But one of the biggest things, even though I say it's not, it's not the same, we have seen these back and forth for a long time. This is just from 1992. How many times we were scared about a nuclear war that's happening? I agree, probably have never been as close as we are now, but also you have to know that all these shakeouts and all these scares disappear as there must be a solution. And I do believe that everybody understands that there must be a solution. The solution is not nuclear war. So sooner or later, you have very simple decision to make, right? Because posted this chart here from Lucky, and he said, if nuclear war doesn't happen, right, then, and you don't buy, you're an idiot because there was scares of nuclear war, you knew it was not going to happen and you didn't buy, right? If you buy, you're rich. Simple. Because if you think nuclear war is happening, the market is scared, dumping 15-20%, and you buy into that and there is no nuclear war, you made profits. And if nuclear war happens, it doesn't even matter, bro. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter because your smallest problem is going to be your wallet balance. It's not going to matter anyway. So this is the reason why I said I have this Telegram that I post things. It's free. There's a link in the description. And I said I'm layering in to ETH and SOL plays. The reason why I'm doing ETH and SOL is because one, the SEC chair Paul Atkins said that self-custody has arrived, and I do think that will ignite a DeFi summer, if you will. But also the SOL madmans, the fact that there is discussion about a potential staking in the SOL ETF that is up and coming, I think that will. I thought that was going to ignite a massive roll. I even shared it on Twitter. And then this is exactly what happened. So we have, I posted today and I said, we got to a point where these positions are up massively. And if you look here, the positions are still open. But the next move, I don't think it is going to be that easy and that simple going. And this is what we have to talk about. So guys, if you like the show and you appreciate me being here, a little bit of a refreshment, please obliterate the like button. We might even do a giveaway at what? What should we do, cuz? 500 likes, 600 likes? 600. I'm doing water fast, by the way. 600. If we get 600 likes, cuz says he's going to sacrifice $500 from his salary. So we do a $500 giveaway if we get 600 likes. Okay, I don't say, but just because I said out, because I said, nice explanation. Thank you so much. Trump has been causing problems. Yes, we're gonna talk about Trump in a second as well. Is this obvious? We'll see. Smash the like, thank you. Main channel, well deserved. Brick by brick, thank you so much for being here. Cloud with 100% chance of 5% rain. Not funny. All right, smash it, guys. All right, let's go. Couple of things. One is that we have to. Why is this move not going to be as simple as we think, and why is it not predictable? So what I was expecting, and I still kind of expect this to be honest with you, is that there is going to be, so I said Iran will be bombed another day or two. This was 2 days ago. And then submit to a deal, which I believe is going to happen. And we're going to discuss it in a second. Trump will want everything and offer much worse condition than originally. I do think this is going to happen as well. Iran will retaliate, which is happening now, and this has happened throughout the weekend. And immediately after accept the deal. Now, I might be off with the immediate, but I personally see no other way than Iran agreeing to a deal with Israel and the US. Now, it was expected, right? It was expected that, as they say here, it is going to be a massive, destructive retaliation. I think everybody expected it. US, Israel has expected this. They were prepared to the highest extent that they could. But it kind of started getting out of hand. And when I say started getting out of hand, when when Iran comes out and makes official statements that Israel will not be habitable, that is kind of hinting to a nuke. That is kind of hinting to use nuke, which is what everybody wants to avoid. Now, I just hope that this is never going to happen, ever. But things started escalating and things started getting out of hand. One, obviously, the peace talks between Iran and the US, which has been happening, and should have happened this Sunday as well. Yesterday is off the table. They've been informed that they are not going to negotiate with the US, mostly because Trump, they say, but I think it's kind of obvious that Trump has approved this coordinated attack. Now, Trump gave 60 days to Iran, and he said, you've got 60 days to make a deal, right? From the very beginning of his presidency, 60 days. Now, Israel attacked on the 61st day. So it was, even though it's Israel that attacked, this global politics, right? US can't go and start bombing in Iran because that's an obvious war. You know, the US goes into war, which it can't do. So it basically hides behind Israel. The problem is that everybody knows this. So Iran started targeting US embassy in Tel Aviv, and that kind of poked the bear, I would say. And military aircraft from the US started taking off, which again shows a little bit more escalation that we would need. Why is this a problem? Other than the fact that a lot of people die, other than the fact that bombs are flying around, other than the fact that there is a potential nuclear war threat, it is a problem for the markets, and this is what we're here for. This is why I'm doing the show, how we can actually make money from the markets. So one of the major threats or problems is the oil price, right? If oil prices increase, insane increase is going to be visible in the States. So everything that everything that happened so far with tariffs, with JP building up and rates not being cut in time and whatnot, is going to be diminished if there is a massive increase in oil prices, which again, everyone wants to avoid. So there is a prediction from JP Morgan that says that oil prices could spike to 130. Now they're at a 70, 72, 73, 130 if Iran conflict escalates, driving US inflation back up to 5%. But that's not all. Gold is at all-time highs, hitting 3,500-ish, almost 3,500-ish. And then, so there is the question, what is really going to happen? Are we going to see a deal here? And then it's a no-brainer buy at this stage? Or we're going to see escalation and a prolonged war, which means that the markets, especially risk assets like crypto, are in, so to say, big danger and can have an amplified impact on the market. One thing that was interesting that was coming out yesterday is that Iran tells mediators that they are not open negotiating ceasefire with Israel while under attack, but they are interested in discussing a ceasefire. And I tweeted as well, remember that this is the only option that they have. And again, I might be off with the immediate acceptance of a deal, but I do genuinely believe there will be a deal. There is one single problem. And the problem is that Israel has been waiting for this for the past 10 years plus. They have been waiting for a moment when they can eliminate the threat that they perceive a threat to their nation for a long, long time. So they are not interested in making a deal, obviously. But Trump is interested in making a deal, and he's saying it openly that there will be a deal, there will be a deal. Even Putin is coming, and who is allies with Iran, comes out and he says, hey, we need to make a deal. So I do believe that the way you have to position yourself is that there will very soon be a deal. Very soon, I mean within a week or two. That's what currently I believe is going to happen. Now, the next question is that you might be thinking, okay, but there are these talks about the Strait of Hormuz, and basically that's a passage where about 20% of all world's oil supply goes through. You might be wondering, but Iran can simply close it. And there are very serious research that shows that it's not only, if Iran would do it, it's not only bad for the world, it's not only bad for the US, but it's also bad for the allies of Iran, meaning Russia, meaning China. So this, I do not think it is going to happen unless it is vital. Now, discussing all this, what on earth should I do? That's the actual question. And I'm gonna tell you in a second. We've got 1,100 people live, 333 likes. Cuz, can you please check if like the like button actually, I don't know guys, I'm not really here on crypto banter, so I don't know how things work. Do you guys just get free alpha and no likes, and how does it actually work? So they're saying, why are we talking politics? Get the charts up, man. Luigi, hold on my friend, hold on, the charts are coming. Congress on waiting thinking. Politics will move the prices, that's why, exactly. MG knows it, MG knows it. Is it working, cuz? Are you sure? Because likes are not going up. These guys don't even want to earn money. I was like, if we get 600 likes, we would get a $500 giveaway. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, so let's go. News are very important. What do we actually look at this week? Now, what we're looking at is a couple of things. Quite a volatile week. Even if we just take out Iran and Israel conflict of the equation. One is Monday, US Open is going to be big. Because as I said, more and more, as I showed you here, I don't know where the link is, but there was like 20 or 25 tanker aircraft that's been sent from the States. I read that there is equipment being repositioned from Ukraine towards Israel. And so the question really is how the market will take this news and what kind of statements Trump will officially make on this whole conflict, whether they're going to get involved. It doesn't help that the US embassy has been bombed in Tel Aviv. So the markets can take this very, very badly. This is one of the things that I want you to pay attention, and that we're going to analyze the chart and see where things can go. The second is OPEC, okay? So we're talking about oil here. This report is going to be major when it comes to risk assets and how the market will perceive the whole thing. Then we've got retail sales, which is not important, but we've got Wednesday, which is FOMC. And a lot of times we talk about FOMC and we're like, FOMC doesn't matter, rate cuts doesn't matter, and it's gonna be the same. What's funny, cuz? What's funny? Is there something in the chat funny? I see cuz is laughing out loud. When Lambo. Hi, bro. Fefe, it's perfect, no problems. Thank you. Russia is happy because equipment's moving. V-shaped pump or dump. Lambo when my shitcoins pump. Okay. Okay. So Wednesday is FOMC. And what is interesting is that Thursday markets are closed. Markets are closed. Guess what? The only market is going to be open? Crypto. So this is going to be an extremely volatile week for crypto. I just want you to note that. New York Open today is going to be interesting. We're going to look at the charts. And then the most important, Tuesday is going to be important for the OPEC report as well. But, oh no, OPEC report is coming today, actually. It's coming today. Okay, so it's going to be a volatile day today. And then the next thing is FOMC. Now, I personally don't believe there's going to be anything. I think, obviously, because of the war and the escalations, depending on how it develops until then, the oil prices can impact inflation, which can impact a hawkish or dovish JP, Jerome Powell, who's the Fed chair. But in general, I don't think FOMC should be a surprise for us. Numbers were extremely great, except the development in the Middle East. Everything should be pointing at a rate cut later this year. At least 1 or 2 rate cuts this year. I genuinely believe is going to happen. The only question is what is going to happen with the escalations in the Middle East. Now, one thing, the markets don't really react. I think everybody's waiting out. I think New York Open is going to be a big one. But if you look at stock markets are flat, if you look at Bento Bubbles and you select stock market's actually slightly up, which is interesting. Stock market's actually slightly up. Crypto is basically pumping, which we again have not, which we have not seen. Basically the whole move on the war news has been retraced, and then commodities are also flat. Now, when volume fades, and this is what we see, when we see volume fading, especially after an event like this, what usually that means is that there is a seller exhaustion. Now, the reason why this is happening, because unfortunately, war is not really a new thing this year, right? So we've seen so many violence this year that, of course, this thing is a big scare because nuclear and because it's Iran and because the US and because Israel. But in general, it doesn't seem to spoof the markets. If you look at it again, like crypto is skyrocketing, stocks are slightly up on Monday before pre-market. And in general, you do see commodities, except gold is skyrocketing, but you do see them flat, which is telling me that there is confidence in, again, this probably the same thought process that there will at some point going to be a deal. Now, if that's the case, we have to look at the market. Now, I wanted to tell you that I am long. I have opened these long positions. I've shared it on my X, and I also shared it in the Telegram. You have to join the Telegram. It's free for now. I please don't quote me on this. It is for now free. You have to be approved. But if you scroll lower here, there is my Telegram down here. Join Fefe's free Telegram. Cuz is also going to pin it here in the chat. You should join there. I am sharing all my thoughts. So literally every trade that I take, everything that I do is here. Now, this Bluffing account is that I open up for the competition with David Tech. And if you look at it, I would just want to show you. I want to show you where I'm at on the month. So my monthly PNL is up at 27% here. This, I all showed it to you in a Telegram on my shows, over at Crypto Live, over at 100x Club. So again, I just do invite you that come here, scroll lower, and join all this here. Subscribe to the 100x Club. Come subscribe to the Crypto Live channel where I'm live every single day. Follow me on X. it is worth it. And again, I give all this completely for free, like literally completely for free. That said, let's look at the charts. Full disclosure, again, just circling back here, I am long, and I do believe that we are going to get some kind of resolution quite soon. Quite soon means in a week or two. Now, I have taken 25% profit on here, on 𝗙𝗘𝗏, but that's basically it. None of my positions, as you see here, none of my other positions, I've taken any profits. But I will now, and I will tell you why. Because when you get a great entry, and I've been round tripping so much this year that I do not want to round trip again. And because there is so much uncertainty, I think it's worth taking a 10%, 15% if you are already in profit. Okay, so if you're not, this is, by the way, 𝗏𝗏. You guys probably heard about 𝗏𝗏, non-KYC, available worldwide. This is where I trade all the time. One of the best things about it is that they're custodying at a third party called Fireblocks. So if you put your money on 𝗏𝗏 and they get hacked, they get scammed, they go under, your money is actually at Fireblocks, which is super cool because it's security for me. So go and check that out. There's a link in the description. So that said, I am long. I am going to take some profits, and I will tell you why. I'm going to take some profits because although I believe this is most likely the bottom in here, anything can happen at any time. When I say that, this week is not only the FOMC, not only today OPEC, not only today Trump coming out and saying not only Iran and Israel still basically bombing each other, and you know, rockets are hitting both Tel Aviv and both in Iran, very serious infrastructure. But also the question is whether the US is going to be dragged into this thing or not. So if you look at the daily chart here, what I've been calling for and saying, this here is a very strong daily recovery. There are 3 consecutive candles here. I want you to look at this. 3 consecutive candles, bullish candles, a massive flush, close below here. This was back in June, the beginning of June. And then a V-shaped recovery from basically no apparent reason. It's not like, you know, Trump announced that they're going to buy 1 million Bitcoin. So this is not news driven. This is spot buy driven, which is very, very, very bullish. And guess where the whole shit show happened? Happened here. So this big candle that you see is the result of the Israeli attack on Iran. Therefore, what I believe this V-shaped recovery did is it gave us another opportunity to come back to the discount zone, which I call the discount zone. Basically, again, a lot of stuff here that I want to teach you, and I'm teaching you over at Crypto Live in 100x Club. But basic idea here is that every time you have a V-shaped recovery, which you have here, you always have to have a 50% retrace, which you have a 50% retrace here. Now the 50% retrace comes down. It's a very simple Fibonacci tool that I just took out all the irrelevant stuff and just left 0, 0.5, and 1. And you see the 50% line here. And when markets retrace 50%, that's always the time where you want to start accumulating. And this is exactly what I did. I started accumulating in this OB. This is a beautiful order block here. The last bearish candle before an impulsive move, it touched on here, and this is where we started accumulating, and this is why I started layering in. I do believe that this here is the bottom. This down here at 316. If not this, the lowest can be the weekly at 3.09. I can't, even if it becomes like the US becomes, you know, the US becomes part of this war and they get more involved and things escalate, I can imagine us weaken a little bit down here at 3.16 trillion, but this here should hold. 3.09 or 3.1 trillion should be the bottom. The reason why I say that is because even if you start getting into positions now, it's about a 7% stop loss on the total market cap, so possibly about a 10-15% drop on most of the coins that you might be trading. Why is this relevant? Because this is the time when generational wealth is made, and this is the time when you should, in my opinion, not financial advice, start deploying on low leverage. If you look at it, some of these trades, again, leverage does not matter, the risk matters, but if you look at, I don't have stop losses on any of this, except Lido, okay? But I don't have stop losses on any of these. Why? Because I do not have liquidation price. Look at this. I don't have any liquidation price. The reason is because, again, this is the time you start deploying for the next leg up. Remember what I said. Everything was bullish before this whole war thing. Everything was bullish. There is no reason for the market to start nuking except this war situation, which in my opinion going to get fixed in the next 2 weeks. And when it gets fixed, again, I just go back and remember what was it? This. Go back at this and remember, if it doesn't get fixed in the next 2-3 weeks, we're screwed anyway. It doesn't matter. And if it gets fixed, I do think this is the perfect time to start layering in. So what am I buying? Well, first of all, I do believe that it's a great idea to start layering into not only Solana, but Solana leverage plays. When I mean that, DeFi infrastructure, staking protocols, decentralized exchanges. Pump Fund is launching now, so watch out with decentralized exchanges and see how, you know, launch pads and all that. Watch out for that. It launches this week or the next 10 days. But ultimately, I am layering into these positions. Next one, ETH. Same situation. ETH plays. As you see, I have Lido open. I have Athena. I have Lido. I have Avi. All these plays because of the self-custody and potential DeFi summary that is going to happen. But I want you to be cautious about it. If you can start layering in on 3x leverage with larger capital and just run it up, fantastic. I personally think it's a perfect place to do that, a perfect idea to do that. Now, if you want to time the button and take higher leverage but lower risk or higher risk and basically try to time the market, I've got two levels for you. One is ultimately you want to follow a 15-minute or an hourly market structure. If you look at the hourly market structure, the next low that we have is down here. This is our next low. That means that the market can come all the way down here. For example, on a potential escalation, first level could be down here. Again, I'm looking at, I'm just showing you Sol, down here at 152, but also can come all the way down here and still be bullish back here at 145. So Sol itself can drop another 6, 7, 8% and still be extremely bullish, regardless of the outcome of whether the US joins or not, or what is going to happen. That's the same scenario for all that. So I would expect TLDR. I'm analyzing the total market cap because that's the easiest to see. I would expect a push to the OB up here. This is a very heavy order block, literally when the whole war situation started escalating. So I would expect to push to come up here, all the way up here, reject from here. Once the rejection happens, I do think that's gonna be my next take profit area. So I'm gonna take 10, 15, 20%. I'm gonna update you in Telegram. And ultimately, just wait for a pullback and start layering in, because I do believe that this is one of the last opportunities that you can get before a massive run. And why is that? Is because here, as I said multiple times, markets always retrace 50%. Now, what is interesting is that the one time the market don't retraces, or it retraces very later, is when there is an initial massive push. If you look here, for example, you could have waited for a 50% pullback, but it never arrived. This is 2023. Never arrived. The reason is because this was the initial massive push. But if you take from the first leg here, you pull it immediately, the second time when the retrace came, it retraced 50% and pumped all the way 20, 30%, the total market cap, hundreds of percentages in different coins. And guess what happened here? Ultimately, the market always retraces 50%, but you needed to get, what was this, 50 weeks? Yeah, it's like almost a year for you to wait for a 50% retrace. So what I'm saying here is that waiting for a full retrace, which would come down here, might be foolish because you would be out of the market. So I'm not saying that you should wait for this level to hit down here at 2.91. It is a possibility, but it's very unlikely. Probably we are going to retrace at a later stage. So, and if you look at the next leg up, which I showed similar, we have just completed a 50% retrace. We made a higher high. And thanks to the war, we even did a 50% retrace in the internal level. So the next leg, in my opinion, is going to take us to all-time high. And I do believe that if you're not deploying, you are going to regret it. Okay, guys. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you. There are so many things that is happening and so many scams and whatnot. And this just came out as well. Anybody in the US, this is definitely something you want to look at. JP Morgan, Bank of America, and TD Bank report breaches compromising consumer data. Now, I don't have to say that you know, blockchain actually fixes this, but there is one more thing that fixes it, and that is Incogni. Incogni is our partners. I love Incogni. I think it's one of the smartest products that I've seen in a long time. Basically what they do, for a tiny amount of money, they take you off of all these lists. What happens is that you get a data breach like this. They steal all your data, where you live, what's your phone number, what's your email address, what's your health data if it's coming from there, what's your monthly transaction volume, how much money you keep in the bank, how many accounts do you have any foreign currency accounts, all that. They package it, and scammers actually buy that data. Okay, these databases. Now, the good thing is that you have the right to remove yourself from these databases, you just don't have the time. Now you have 𝗥𝗏𝗏, which has over 250 different databases where they plugged in and they take it on them in your name. They reach out and request a legal request for them to remove you from these databases so you don't get bombarded with emails, calls, scam things, whatever. If you, I did this. I think it's freaking incredible. If you want to try it out and if you want to give it a shot and don't want to get bombarded with scammers and all that stuff, go down to the description and you will see it down here. That said, I'm going to jump into the questions a little bit, see what's happening here. Rate cuts, I can't be more deployed. That's good. I mean, if you deployed at the right time, I'm very happy for you. Very, very happy for you. I'm new. Sol can high today, 160. If you're new, focus on the long run. Thanks, Fefe. You're welcome. I'm surprised the market is still long. Not still, but already. Hit the like, cost giveaway on 600 likes. Exactly. Great show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I think this was it. 𝗙𝗲𝗄 questions when you're ready. 𝗙𝗲𝗄 questions already up on positions. I'm so happy you are. All right, guys. Truly appreciate every single one of you for coming in here. Please do not forget to go down to the description. Follow me on X, which you will be able to find here, which is not here, but should be. X is going to be here. Join the Telegram channel. Subscribe to the trading channel, the 𝗨𝗏𝗏 Club, where I drop you daily alpha, trading, and much more. Truly appreciate every single one of you for spending time with me here. I hope I will see you on this channel, and just take care. Check out these two videos. Click here, and I even actually have the outro. I believe I will see you in the next one. Take care.